Hi, Simon Chappell here. I'm the Quit Alcohol Coach, and as always, I want to help you smash your sobriety. If you enjoy the videos on my YouTube channel, please hit the little red button on the screen right now so you can subscribe. There's new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I wouldn't want you to miss any. Today, I wanted to talk about 7 tips for ensuring you get brilliant sleep after you quit drinking. When you quit drinking, your sleep can be disrupted. Mine certainly was. And it's important to make sure that you're fully prepared and set for sleeping success. So the first tip is to have a level of acceptance that your sleeping is going to be disrupted. When you quit drinking, you're changing your sleep cycles. When we drink alcohol, we don't get the proper restorative sleep that we need in order to wake up feeling fully refreshed and ready to go for the day ahead. Your brain is moving from one state to another, and you want to see it as a sign of healing, a sign of getting better, that your sleep is going to be disrupted. But you can minimize how disrupted it is by following the tips in this video and make sure that any disruption lasts for the shortest time possible by following these simple steps. But having a level of acceptance and awareness that you probably are going to experience some disruption will help set you up for success when it comes to sober sleeping. Personally, I had 3 or 4 nights of disrupted sleep. It might have gone on for about a week. My memory's slightly hazy. I did have one night where I woke up and I'd been sweating profusely through the night. The sheets were wet. But eventually, after 4 or 5 days, I think, I was starting to sleep much, much better. And I've got to say that since I've quit, my sleeping has been incredible. I sleep like a baby now. I fall asleep within about 15 minutes of my head hitting the pillow, which never used to happen. And of course, the room's not spinning. I'm not waking up with a hangover. I'm not getting up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. There's no waking up randomly at 3 a.m. because I've drunk so much. So sleeping really is a joy, and it's a gift from sobriety, which I want you to embrace. But make sure you follow these steps, especially if you've been experiencing problems with your sleep after you quit drinking, because I wouldn't want it to be a reason that you think it's worthwhile going back to drinking, because alcohol does not help our sleep. It causes more harm than good. My second tip is to evaluate your sleeping setup. So everything from checking your room, making sure that it's dark enough for you, that your bed is comfy, right through to the temperature, any noise that you've got going on. It's all going to help make sure that you've got a sleeping environment that is going to be right for you and give you the best chances of having a comfy, restful night's sleep. We often don't pay attention to these things, but even a crack in the curtains that lets light in can be a disruption if you're not sleeping as deeply as you were. You know, alcohol knocks us out, so we don't even notice these things. When you quit drinking, you're going to be in a lighter state to start with, and you're going to be aware of anything that's causing disruption, certainly in the first few days after you quit. So making sure that everything's as good as it can possibly be by evaluating your room, evaluating your sleep setup, and really taking it seriously is going to help you. The third tip for sleeping success is to create a morning and an evening routine. So try and get up at the same time each morning. Don't have lay-ins until midday, because that's going to mean that you're not as tired as you should be in the evenings. And in the evenings, make sure you've got a wind down routine. So you won't want to be drinking lots of water before you go to bed. I wouldn't recommend going on smartphones or tablets or doing anything to get yourself excitable before you go to bed. Certainly don't drink caffeine. I avoid caffeine in the afternoons because I know that that can affect my sleep. Instead, consider reading before you go to bed, listening to a sleep meditation. There's some amazing ones on the Calm meditation app and Headspace as well that will help you drift off to sleep. Or maybe listen to some calming music. Some people like to put their television on with sounds like waves or rainfall. Whatever works for you. Personally, I prefer to keep my TV off while I'm sleeping because it distracts me and it will keep me awake. But think about what's going to work for you and what your evening and morning sleep routine should look like. You should try to go to bed at the same time or as close to the same time as possible, and you should be getting up around the same time too. If you wake up in the mornings and you're feeling groggy, like you've got a hangover, then you want to explore that. Often it's because we're waking up during the wrong sleep cycles, and that can lead to you feeling groggy. If you're waking up and you've been really deeply sleeping, or if you were in a light phase of sleep, it can lead to you feeling groggy. There's a calculator on my website, besober.co.uk, in the blog area, and that can help you calculate the correct time to get up so that you wake up in the correct sleep cycle, so you don't feel groggy, and you base it on the time that you go to bed. So that's worth a look if you're finding that you're waking up, you haven't been drinking, but you're waking up feeling like you've got a hangover. My fourth tip for sober sleeping is to try and make sure that you're tired. I personally try and exercise for at least half an hour every day, but you could take a brisk walk, you could go swimming, running, whatever it is, but make sure that you tire yourself out. If you spent the entire day laying on the sofa watching television, you're not going to be very tired. So try and do what you can to stay active. And of course, when we quit, we've got more energy, more motivation. So we're up for doing these things. We've got the hunger and the desire to get out and get ourselves more active. But by being active, you're not only going to be setting yourself up for success in terms of dealing with cravings and discomfort by keeping yourself busy, you're going to be making yourself tired, which is going to help you sleep. My fifth tip for sober sleeping success is that if you're finding you absolutely can't sleep, then take yourself out of the situation, maybe head back downstairs, read a book or listen to a sleep meditation, do something calming, and then when you're starting to feel tired, head back to bed. This can work really well. I don't recommend going on bright screens, phones, laptops, that sort of thing, but do something that's calming and going to help you relax and enable your mind to settle down. You might even want to do a meditation practice if you've got one of the meditation apps on your smartphone, and just allow yourself to relax, to wind down, then reset, head back to bed, and you should find yourself drifting off to sleep. And I've got some further tips, which are actual tactics that are going to help you if you can't get to sleep, that I'll share after the 7 tips for sober sleeping. My 6th tip, and do some research around this before you do it, can be to take melatonin supplements. They've helped many people drift off to sleep and get through the early phase of sleep disruption when they quit drinking with real success. But do your research around them, speak to your medical specialist if you need to do so, but do check out melatonin supplements because they've worked for a lot of people. My 7th tip for sober sleep success is actually a tactic which I promised to share with you, and it's called the 4-7-8 breathing tactic, and I'll share another one right after this. But this can actually help you if you're laying in bed unable to sleep. This is an actual tactic that you can dive straight into, that you can use, and it's going to help you drift off to sleep. So give it a try, and I'd love to hear in the comments whether it worked for you. So there's 5 stages to this tactic. The first thing you need to do is let your lips open slightly and make a gentle whooshing sound as you exhale through your mouth. Kind of like that. Maybe not quite so dramatic or quite so obvious, but just gently whoosh through your mouth as you breathe out. After you've exhaled, close your lips, and then you're going to breathe gently through your nose to the count of 4. So that's the 4 in 4-7-8. So you're going to breathe in for the count of 4. Once you've breathed into the count of 4, you're going to hold your breath for 7 seconds. Now, I know this sounds slightly crazy, but believe me, it definitely does work. You're focusing on your breath the entire time. So if you find other thoughts are coming into your head while you're doing this, just acknowledge that those thoughts are there, allow them to pass, and anchor back to your breath. So hold your breath for 7 seconds after you've inhaled through your nose for 4 seconds. And then the next step after you've held your breath is to exhale through your mouth with your lips slightly open, making that whooshing sound. And you're going to do that to the count of 8. So you want to do that for around 8 seconds. Whoosh it back out. And you want to be trying to practice this in a state of kind of mindfulness. You don't want to be super aware of what you're doing. And as you do each cycle of this, because you're going to want to repeat it several times, you just want to let it go naturally and kind of flow with it and just use it almost like a rhythm that you're using. And the more you practice it, the easier it will become, the more natural it will begin to feel. So don't concentrate on it. Try and just let it flow naturally. Certainly the first few times you do it, you are going to be concentrating, but get into cycles of doing it and just practice, and it will become like a second nature type thing. And you should soon find yourself starting to drift and drift into a state of sleep. As you complete the cycles, your body will become more relaxed and you should find yourself gently drifting off to sleep. And just to recap, you're going to count 4 in your head as you inhale through your nose. You're going to hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then you're going to whoosh as you exhale out with your lips slightly parted through your mouth. Let me know how you get on with that one. And I've got another tactic you can use for getting wonderful sober sleep coming right up. So this next strategy for successful sober sleep, if you're having problems drifting off at night, is called the military method. I believe they use it in the army when they're struggling to get to sleep when they're out on exercise, and I understand that it works really well. Personally, I've not tried this one. I use the 4-7-8 method if I have any difficulties getting to sleep. But let's go through it. The first thing you need to do is completely relax all the muscles in your face and in your mouth. As you're laying in bed, focus on the muscles in the face, the muscles in the mouth, and feel them kind of melt, kind of relax in a way. As you bring your attention to those muscles in your face and in your mouth, you should feel them almost soften. And when you've done that, you can move on to the next stage. And you might need to practice a little bit with doing this, but as you bring your awareness and consciously soften those muscles, you'll be setting yourself up for success with this tactic. The next step is to drop your shoulders, really allow your shoulders to relax and feel the tension drift away out of your shoulders. And then rest your hands down the side of your body. The next step is to exhale, but as you exhale, really allow your chest to relax. This is all about allowing your body to relax and getting into the right state for successful sleep. So as you exhale out, really allow the chest to relax. And then you also, as you exhale, need to relax your legs, your thighs and your calves, bringing awareness to each part of the body and feeling it gently melt and gently soften. As you breathe back in, which should be through your nose, there's no particular time that you need to do this for. I want you to imagine a relaxing scene, and you're going to be breathing in through your nose and exhaling from your chest as you soften your chest and keep it really relaxed. And I want you to picture the most relaxing scene you can think of. It could be absolutely anything. You might be laying on a beach on a desert island and drifting off to sleep there. Whatever it needs to be, picture that relaxing scene and hang on to it, and then continue to ensure that your face is soft, your muscles in your mouth are relaxed, your shoulders are dropped, your hands are by your side, your legs are soft and relaxed. And continue breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, and allow that cycle to continue as you picture a really relaxing scene. And if you're finding thoughts are popping into your head as you're picturing your relaxing scene and breathing in this cycle, just acknowledge that they're there and allow them to pass. Bring yourself back to your relaxing scene and continue the process of breathing. If you're really struggling with thoughts popping into your head, you can try saying to yourself, don't think. Don't think, over and over, maybe for 10 seconds, until you bring yourself back to your breath and back to your scene of relaxation. And you should find that this helps you drift off to sleep. It just puts you into this state of kind of gentle awareness that allows your body to relax, your mind to slow down until you get to a point where you gently drift off. And I'd love to hear what's worked for you in terms of sober sleeping, or any issues that you might have had around getting off to sleep after you've quit drinking. Hopefully these tips will really help you, because I want to make sure we all enjoy a great night's sleep. A great night's sleep sets us up for success. It helps our mood. It helps our all-round sense of well-being. So it really is something to take seriously. And hopefully those tips will help.